So what is up, ladies and gents? Today we're going to be going over the best way you're going to quite literally make billions. Now, I did have billions, and I did this on stream. I had hundreds of billions, close to 300 billion. If you come down to cosmetic in the shop, you can see this. I accidentally bought this way too many times, and it gets really expensive way too fast. I didn't realize that before I started jitter clicking it, and I lost all my don't do that. But obviously, we are close to 150,000 subs, so do make sure you subscribe. We'll have information in regards to a giveaway later in the video. As always, giving away a bunch of these things right here and this same price. Anyways, first things obviously first, no matter where you are right now, this is just going to be an in general rule that's going to like help you make more. Obviously, you know, that's the whole point. This will help you regardless of game progression. So obviously if you have better plans, you'll just make more off of this. If you have worse plans, you'll still make plenty. And also do note, we're not using candy blossoms, moon blossoms, any of those for this. This is just purely what you can use now. Additionally though, for just helpful information, if you do want to have a Discord server notifier, so it's like a bot that'll notification every time a specific thing's in stock. We have one, really helpful. As you see, it'll notify you. It'll notify you what's eggs in stock, what seeds and gear. And then if you're AFKing, this is the most helpful in my opinion. If I'm AFKing, I can see, oh, okay, so it snowed. It rained, meaning my things will have frozen mutation. It also thundered, meaning most likely will have shock. No longer can you get celestial, obviously. But that is something to note, is it is just in generally a helpful tool for things like that, especially the stock notifier. That link to my Discord server will be in the description of this video. The next thing is going to be the setup for this method. So starting off, I have been told the sprinkler glitch still works. Personally don't know, because I ran a godly for a while and had no progress, but that might have just been because there's a godly and that was me. There were some, not some, but a lot that were golden and a few that were rainbow, so it might have just worked and I don't know. But I will test that out later, and if I remember to, I'll comment, right? Like in my comment saying if the sprinkler method works or not. If it does and I got that wrong, that's my bad. Make sure you tell in the comments. I'll probably pin your comment as well if it does work. So do make sure you leave that comment if it works or not, because I don't. Okay, the next thing we're going to be looking at is what you need to do the setup for. So we're going to go off of the sprinkler method for this. This is if it works. So you're going to start off by obviously, hold on, let me, I have plenty of pollinate. Make sure you start off by obviously clearing out your whole base, all your crops and everything. And then what you're going to do is start to grind obviously these mutations. That's later in the video. I'll explain you the best way to do that without wasting time. But we're going to look at the fact if the sprinkler method does work, right? So this will be helpful. It does. If not, you know, oh well. So you're going to use the sprinkler method after obviously try to clear out all your crop. This is just going to guarantee that you do get the better value, because their size can't increase and they also can't get growth-based mutations. So gold and rainbow, they can't get those unless they are growing. So do make sure that you obviously try to clear out your garden first beforehand. This will obviously just ensure that you actually can. Now for the mutation grinding, this is going to be actually how you make them worth money. So normally their plants are going to sell for not a lot, like a high sell value. So hold on, let me find it. I do have a website page with all of the, it's called a sell value calculator. It'll have all the sell values and it'll calculate. Now, what we're going to do, hold on. It'll look like this, right? Scroll down, and I do believe I've updated it to include, yeah, here, all of the bee event ones. So this alongside the bee patients, which are going to be pollinated and honey glaze. So this is just so you can see the value it increases. Honey glaze is like a 5x. Pollinated is like a 2x, 3x. Depends on the kilogram weight in the plant that you're actually multiplying. But this website is going to be very helpful, in my opinion, to find out which crops you're doing. So usually I use moon melon. Now, moon melons, I think are still busted. No, never mind. They probably maybe. But as you did saw before, that one had I think it's like a 9.75 kilogram. I'm assuming that because it said it had a 0.25 kilogram left after I traded it in, meaning I do assume that was bigger than, but so we can put in all the things on this. So if I were to sell that one for money, I could put in the fact that I think it was 9.75 kg. It had shocked, it was wet, I believe, and had pollinated. That one would have sold for almost about 2.75 million. Pretty decent considering it's just that one. Now, but we're here to make billions, right? Now, if it was the same one and we use the sprinkler method to get this to like 20 kg, that one will be worth almost 12 million. Now, if it is a hefty boy, then you could get like, I've seen some that are like 50 kg. It's like 50, that's like 72 million. Now, if you have better mutation, gold, shock, you know, bros, if I can find that. Okay, yeah, 50 kg, that would be worth 1.5 billion. That is absurd, but that's just how much these could go. Now, obviously, if it doesn't have gold, it's going to lose none of that value. But let's let's consider the fact we still have all, or if you get the bear and have honey glazed, or both, you could have both. You're gonna be looking at 80 million per. Now, do know these, you can grind these effectively. Like there's a ton right here. I know this frozen one right here probably has some good sell value, but that's just one thing to consider. This is also just an example, right? You can use whatever crops you want. This is just my example crop because it used to pretty much be the method when it came to making money. Now, but if you are wanting to hyper focus on this update, what you can do is get the sunflower if possible. The sunflower is going to be like a buffed moon blossom and a weak candy blossom is the best way I can say to put it. And if you know you don't want to pay to buy this and it's too hard to grind for it, you can do is enter into the giveaway. Now, to enter, fairly simple. You just got to subscribe and comment your username down below. You subscribe, I'll see if you're subscribed and enter you into the poll if you comment your username. And I put your username into the poll. Therefore, you must subscribe and then comment your username to enter regardless. You can't do one or the other. That's just how you're going to enter. And once again, the winner will get, 10 of these, or, if you feel like it in cosmetic. Now though, what we're going to look at is the sunflower. This thing has absurd sell value, right? As you see right here, we have the sunflower has a base sell value of 135,000. What? 135,000? Dude, holy. The moon blossom has a base sell value of 45. What is that? Hold on. Okay, we got sunflower that's its base sell value. Okay, and then a moon blossom. It's almost three times better. And it's probably easier to get too. Okay, that's absurd. So the sunflower is pretty much 3 times better than moon blossom. Now the candy blossom is another one. Let me find it. Candy blossom has, I think it's higher. It's better than the candy blossom? What? How is that? Holy. Okay, it's better than the candy blossom. Oh, wow. Okay, so this plant is, oh wow, a lot better than the candy blossom. Okay, let's note that. That's crazy. Okay, this thing, did they buff the moon mango? I remember this thing was cheeks. Oh, they did buff the moon mango. It was like a moon blossom. What? Okay, the sunflower. The sunflower, if you got a basic shocked, frozen, you can't get celestial, pollinated, you're gonna be looking at a 14 million. Now, if this thing's gold, 300 billion. I'm just kidding, million. 300 million sell value. Now, this 14.23 is just the base kilogram. If this one was 2x the normal size, so if this one was 28, you'd be looking at a 1 billion sell value. No, yes, this thing is very rare. And if you do compare it once again to the well above average moon melon, so if this thing is well above average, say it's like 3 times almost, so let's say it's like 40 kg, this thing's billions, right? This thing, that's absurd. So if you've seen the candy blossoms that are selling for billions, this thing is going to be selling for more, which is wild to consider. Anyways, though, with that in mind, you could, hypothetically, if you gone, right, use the sprinkler method on any of these event ones seem to be very, very busted, not gonna lie. Use the sprinkler method on these, I would say, and try, if you can, to additionally, like on top of using the sprinkler method, then try to grind mutations. And the only optimal way I would say you could do that is like AFK in the game. Now we are making a macro for things like this, so it'll be able to like go in, clear your garden, sell if you want to, sprinkler method and all that. You could additionally AFK and it'll like teleport over to the seed shop and it'll go through and buy specifically what you want it to. And then you can, teleport over with the recall wrench or whatever. You can use this, then teleport over here, and then you can go through here and buy stuff, right? It's going to be able to do all this. And then you can buy, cosmetics. If there's a cosmetic you want, like if you want all crates from the shop, it'll be able to go through and buy all crates. If you want a specific pet egg, it'll be able to do that. We're close to finally launching this. We're excited for this. So it will be free and working on both Mac and Windows. So do make sure you join the Discord server. We are constantly updating with information on this. So make sure you check that out. But additionally though, with that in mind, you can do the basic summary of that, right? You can't do all of that with Tiny Tasks, but Tiny Tasks will allow you to stay AFK in the game. I will have a link to my website with Tiny Tasks in the description if you want to check that out. Alongside that, you'll pretty much be set when it comes to grinding mutations, and you just need to stay in game once again. A weather notifier is going to allow you to actively, this one happened, this one happened, this one happened. I'm good. I can check in and buy my crap. And with that being said though, that's pretty much going to be the best way you can make money. And I genuinely think you can start to make billions, as I'm showing hopefully right now, if I remember to edit this correctly. I literally was able to sell for mini billions using just the base core funk. Now, anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next.